From telling her mom off in front of millions of fans to being compared to Stormi, these are the problematic things we ignore about Kim Kardashian's daughter, North West.
So if you've been following the Kar-Jenner kids, you'll know they've had their fair share of spotlight moments. But it's North who's been making headlines with her bold personality. Some people have labeled her behavior as spoiled and bratty, and honestly, there have been some eyebrow-raising moments. Remember that clip where Kim K was trying to sing and North just couldn't handle it? When she called out her mom from the back seat.
Sing it, girls.
That split everyone, with half of the internet saying it was just plain rude, and the other half chuckling saying it's typical kid stuff. And let's be real, it's pretty funny to think about how kids just say it like it is without worrying about the celebrity status of their parents. And it's not a one-off. North seems to have this knack for calling out Kim in the most public ways. Like that time when she pointed out the change in Kim's voice when she was on social media promoting some products.
Why do you talk different?
How do I talk? Guys,
So today I got this mama.
You have to admit, there's something refreshing about North's candidness, a little reality check that pierces through the influencer facade we're so used to seeing. Rewinding back to the height of the lockdown, Kim was doing a PSA stressing the importance of staying home. North appears, questioning her mom's advice with the sass of someone beyond her years.
Trust me, I want to get out.
That takes some nerve, doesn't it? Then there was the whole Olivia Rodrigo Sour album press kit situation. Kim's excitement was off the charts until North came in with her commentary.
look, she sent a box of tissues. Yes, I do.
Undercutting the fanfare with a dose of dry humor. It's these moments that make you wonder, is she a little too mean? Another instance that was captured on camera showed North and Kim seated in the front row at a Paris Fashion Week fashion show. And she's got her invite in hand with "Stop" written in big, bold letters. Kim took to Twitter, kind of laughing it off, saying anyone who knows North knows she's got a sense of humor about these things. She seemed to think the whole ordeal was about North being funny and tired of the constant photos. But some people didn't find it all that amusing. They started questioning why North was at these high-profile events if she's clearly uncomfortable with the attention. You could see the criticism pouring in. Worries about her turning into just another entitled star who whines and takes advantage of the benefits of being well-known. And someone pointed out that if she doesn't want her picture taken, maybe don't sit front and center at one of the most photographed events in the world. It's a valid point, especially considering how the family's fame and fortune are deeply tied to public exposure. And it wasn't just this one instance. The whole week seemed to be a bit of a showdown between North and the Paps. There's footage of her navigating through a sea of photographers looking genuinely overwhelmed. Furthermore, in a different incident, she tells them to stop following her as she gets out of a car. This isn't the first time, though. Remember that ballet class where the paparazzi were met with a firm request from North or the Museum of Ice Cream visit? She shouted a clear "no pictures" message to the crowd. Supporters and fans have expressed concern, suggesting this indicates she's getting out of hand. Kim even opened up about North's feelings towards her younger brother, and it turns out North wasn't too thrilled about not being the only child anymore. Kim's take? She's not sure if it's the classic older sibling syndrome or something else, but it's clear North has been going through a bit of an adjustment phase, one that seems to have overstayed its welcome. North, in her big sister role, has been, let's say, creative in claiming her space. She's hosted exclusive tea parties with a strict no kids allowed policy. Now that's one way to carve out some me time. And there's been some door slamming, the universal kid signal for keep out. Let's not forget her day out with JoJo Siwa in 2019. You know JoJo with her sparkling personality and her house that's like a rainbow exploded in a glitter factory? They had a blast, but North dropped a little bombshell before heading home, mentioning to JoJo that her mom says she screams a lot. Kids and their lack of a filter, right? Speaking of no filter, there was that time North went live on TikTok. Yep, She gave a tour of the house and walked right into Kim's room, announcing she was live. Not exactly a planned moment. Mason Disick, who's had his own experiences with social media spills, reached out with a message that was all big cousin concern. He told Kim that North should maybe have a bit of supervision when going live to avoid those oops moments he's all too familiar with. Kim agreed with Mason's advice and appreciated him looking out for North. She figured it'd be a one-time slip-up, but a chat between Mason and North about the do's and don'ts of social media could be beneficial. And you can see why that is a bad thing from her TikTok account. While the account may have started under the pretense of being managed by Kim, it's clear North has a certain level of autonomy over the content, as seen in her viral videos. There's a certain charm to her posts, yet the appropriateness of the content for a child her age is a valid concern. Her friendship with Ice Spice has stirred up quite a bit of conversation. North's exposure to and emulation of a music artist who's known for mature content brings forward the difficult question of how celebrity parents can monitor and guide their children's social media consumption and output. It's a tricky line to walk. On one hand, North's creativity and self-expression are being celebrated. Yet on the other hand, there's a question of whether she is fully equipped to navigate the complexities of fame, public scrutiny, and the adult themes in the content she consumes and creates. Kanye West's discomfort with his children's exposure to social media adds another layer to the discussion. He reflects on a concern that many parents share, regardless of their celebrity status. However, the disagreement between him and Kim about their children's exposure to social media and the media spotlight is played out very publicly, which adds to the pressure and complexity of the situation for their kids. Now, it's important to note that the development of each child, even within the same family, can be vastly different. While Stormi, for example, may appear to handle the spotlight with a different demeanor, it doesn't necessarily reflect the entire scope of how being in the public eye is affecting her or will affect her in the future. Each child reacts differently, and each one needs tailored support and guidance. North West's actions, like blowing out another child's birthday candles or interrupting her parents during an interview, are often interpreted through the lens of her being spoiled or bratty. Yet, these are typical childhood behaviors that many parents across the world navigate daily. It's the added pressure of the public eye that magnifies these moments for celebrity children like North. Stormi's behavior in the YouTube video with her mom, Kylie Jenner, shows her in a very positive light, polite, loving, and cooperative. Such endearing moments resonate with fans and create a warm, positive image. This doesn't necessarily mean that Stormi is more or less spoiled than North. It simply showcases her behaving well in a controlled environment, doing an activity she presumably enjoys. One fan wrote on Twitter, "Stormi is the cutest, gentlest girl, please, and honestly, I get it. I saw the video where Stormi tells Kylie she's so beautiful, and guys, why did that make me feel so emotional?"
He's so beautiful.
You're so beautiful.
But it's also important to remember the influence of editing on these videos. What is shown can paint a certain narrative that may or may not reflect the child's typical behavior. Kylie's video is a curated piece of content intended to show a certain side of her and her daughter's lives, emphasizing the positive moments over any tantrums or disagreements that any parent-child duo might experience. What is often missed in these conversations is the understanding that children are still developing their emotional regulation and social behaviors. Especially for those like North and Stormi, who were born into families with immense wealth and public interest, their actions are sometimes unfairly scrutinized. What might be seen as cute and adorable for one child could be seen differently for another, based on various factors, including the public perception of their parents. So, from being compared with Stormi to telling her mom off in front of millions of her followers, these were the problematic things we all ignore about Kim Kardashian's daughter, North West.